Hey guys, Akash here. You can follow me on Twitter at monkey with the zip at the end. And if you click this link, it'll take you to my YouTube channel. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon as well. Please stay updated on the videos because sometimes I kind of forget to update the videos on Twitter. So yeah, so this video I'm gonna be addressing. I'm gonna be addressing the coins that you guys requested in this tweet over here, right? So let's get it. Right, so I've discussed Bitcoin just now, and I'm currently trading this particular setup. Make sure to click the link on the top right corner. So yeah, let's move on to let's actually move on to Ethereum first, right? Some of you guys requested Ethereum over here. So yeah, let's take a look at Ethereum, right? So my outlook for Ethereum was a little different. For the last few weeks, I had this support cluster. Yeah, I had this support cluster somewhere around $3,000 to anywhere from $3,000 to $2,800. That's where my support cluster was, and that was mainly because of another reason why this cluster was important was because of the intersection between the 100-day and the 50-day moving average here, right? So this was an important support level, but price kind of breached it on 30th April, right? Since then, the price has been you know hovering below this support cluster, right? So I've removed this and I've redrawn a couple of trend lines here, and it looks like the price is traversing an ascending parallel channel, extremely similar to what Bitcoin is doing, right? But on a much smaller scale, right? So the last time price tagged the lower trend line here, it rallied 40%, roughly 41%. Same thing happened here, 43% is what it did. So right now, I'm not thinking a lot. I'm not going to overthink what's going to happen. I'm going to long this to either 3136 or 3200, or probably until we get a retest of this middle line of the channel, right? And regardless of where the price of Ethereum is after longing this, if Bitcoin hits 42k first, right, which is the supply zone's lower limit here, 42,153. If Bitcoin hits that, I'm gonna close my position on Ethereum and just sit back, relax, watch how everything unfolds then, right? If we get probably a swift move above 42, this supply zone's upper limit, which is 43k, roughly 44k, then I would probably reevaluate and probably wait for a dip to enter on Ethereum again. When I mention Ethereum, the game plan is pretty much going to be extremely similar to a lot of altcoins as well, right? So no matter what altcoins you're in right now, I think as soon as Bitcoin hits 42k, that's where I'm going to be exiting. So yeah, for now, Ethereum looks ready for a move to 3100. If we're lucky, we could probably get 3200, right? If you add the daily moving averages here, kind of coincides a little bit with the 50 moving average, which is hovering around $3,000. From the current position, this is an 8% upswing, right? But if you look at the previous encounters with the lower trend line, the price is rallied at least 40%, right? So again, this is a long shot, and it's a big if. So if Ethereum does manage to kind of get uncorrelated with Bitcoin, like right now there's a high correlation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin does, Ethereum just follows that, right? So in the case that Bitcoin continues to go higher, there's a good chance price could rally 40% again, which would bring Ethereum up to $3,800. And if we're lucky, we could probably get a retest of the 4,000 psychological level. So yeah, that is pretty much it for Ethereum, guys. Let's move on to the next coin, which is SHIB, right? All right, so let me just quickly explain this fractal that I'm looking at. The fractal is, so Shiba Inu consolidated for roughly 135 days before it actually took off and rallied probably like 6,000%, no, 1,300%, right? And the days leading up to this particular breakout, right, I marked out some fractals, right? The first leg, price rallied, set a high, and then came back down. This is the retracement mode, right, which is marked in red. After the price retraced, it consolidated for a bit where it moved below the low. It swept the low basically, and then it swept the high, and then finally formed a base, which led to a breakout. Right, so basically an upswing followed by a retracement followed by a consolidation that swept both the lows and the highs. Right, so far what we've gotten is the upswing followed by retracement. The price has swept the highs, price has swept the lows. Now I'm expecting the price to consolidate a bit more before it actually breaks out, right? And you know how Shiba Inu was during the last bull run, right? So I do have to kind of caution investors that turn $5,000 to $8,000 to roughly $5 billion, or whatever the number is, are going to be offloading SHIB, right? And this downswing that you see here is a result of that. So I am kind of hesitant on investing in Shiba, mainly because of this particular outlook, and I expect Shiba to kind of stay subdued for quite some time. So that's why I am betting a lot on Doge than I am at SHIB, on SHIB, right? So that is my take, right? But I am confident this fractal is going to explode, like it's going to result into an up move, right? The first level of target would be 326. Beyond this, we could look at 398. Right, from the current position, this is a 90% upswing. Almost, you could almost double your capital if you just buy spot and wait. Right, so let's move on to the next coin, which is ADA. Right, so let me briefly explain the range that I've drawn here. Shiba Inu price formed like a double bottom here at roughly 0.776, and you saw a similar setup here at the range high, which is $1.24. Right, back when price was somewhere around here, I expect the price to kind of break. I expected price to form a triple top here, a triple bottom, triple tap setup. I'm sorry, I expected it to form a triple tap setup, which could resolve and then move higher and fill this fair value gap here, or inefficiency that is present from roughly 1.02 to 0.98. That's what I expected Cardano to do. But just a sec. But so far that doesn't seem to be the case. The price has eventually moved down, swept the liquidity resting below these equal lows, which is the sell stop liquidity. So now I'm expecting the price to slowly but surely move higher, right? If you read my article today on FX Street, you will know that the upside is kind of capped. Let me just show it here. If you check this out, right, the first cluster of underwater investors are present at roughly $0.9, where roughly 521,000 addresses that purchased 34 billion ADA are underwater, right? So at 0.9. So if which is roughly around this level here, so you can expect the price to move up to 0.90. Any move beyond that is highly unlikely. We could probably wick up to the upper limit of this particular cluster, which is 0.97. So there is a chance price could go up to 0.97, but there's a good probability that these investors are going to offload, which will increase the selling pressure and therefore decrease the probability of the price moving higher. So 0.90 is where I'm expecting the price to form some sort of a local top, right? So yeah, if you're looking to buy in on Cardano spot positions, it's a good idea. Like opening long positions on Cardano futures is an extremely no-no right now, considering how volatile the market is, right? So a 16% upswing is what you can expect from Cardano. Let's move on to the next coin, which is APE coin. Right, so APE has done a complete 180 after forming equal highs around roughly $23 if you look at the candlesticks, right? So yeah, the price, I expected APE coin to actually break down from here and then move lower, but considering the other side NFT hype, the price reached an all-time high at $27, right? In one of my articles at FX Street, I predicted the price could head up to $25, which it did, and kind of moved higher to $27. Right, so yeah, what we're looking at right now is the price is approaching the 204-hour moving average, which is at $14, and also happens to be the upper limit of this particular range here. So I think $14 is where it stabilizes before it actually yeah, I think $14 where it stabilizes, right? In extremely bearish case scenario, you can expect the price to come down to this level here, which is the 4-hour demand zone, extending from 12.08 to 12.56. Right, highly unlikely, guys. I'm not saying it's going to come down here, but if we get a breakdown of this confluence here, just $14.4, which is the support level, resistance level, which was resistance here and is support now, and the 200-day moving average. If this confluence breaks, there's a good chance price will come down to this level here, this demand zone, and that's where it's going to bounce. Right, these are the two buy zones that I'm looking at for APE coin. So not a lot of not a lot of technical stuff here. It's pretty simple, simple support levels, demand zones. Right, let's take a look at looks. Right, so we're on a daily time frame here for looks. I think I drew this on Saturday, which was, when was Saturday? 30th, which was, yeah, I did this on Saturday morning, right? I expect this was the resistance level, and I expected the price to sweep the low formed here on 12th April and then continue moving higher. And so far, things are looking pretty good here for looks like it's showing a lot more strength than Ethereum or XRP, right? And it's not produced a daily close, depending on how today's daily candlestick closes. I think there's a good chance price you could like buy spot and look to take profits around $2.02 or $2.16. These are the levels that I'm looking at, right? So you could get some sort of consolidation before the price actually moves up, right? You are looking at a 20% upswing for looks in the upcoming days, right? Depending on how the price reacts around here, you can reevaluate and see if the price is going to go higher or retrace lower, right? So another, you might look at this price action here, and you could draw a line here and argue that there could be a potential triple tap setup here, where this is the high, this is the deviation above the high, and this could be the high, right? That is unlikely because the downside objective is completed, right? There's no reason for the price to go lower. The liquidity resting below these lows were collected by this dip down here. So the only reason why price could go lower is to produce a triple tap setup here, where low forms, deviation below the low, and then a retest of the low. So this is the only scenario which kind of makes sense why the price will go down. Other than that, I don't see why price should go down, technically speaking, except if it's Bitcoin. If Bitcoin crashes, then yep, it makes sense for looks rate to go lower, right? So that said, a 20% upswing is what you can expect from looks from a conservative standpoint, and 25% if you are lucky. So let's move to the next coin, right? Yeah, I'm glad KNC is dropping. Okay, so KNC formed this W pattern here. This would have been a really amazing buy. It, well, 4x'd from here, right? So right now what's happening is the price is going to retrace. So these two levels here at 4.3 and 3.5 is where I'm expecting KNC to form some sort of a consolidation or a base here. But considering how things are bullish on Ethereum and Bitcoin, right, there is a chance price could do a small 180 and hover around $4.95 before it actually comes down lower, right? And now that I look at it, there is a chance for the price to form. Let me just clear everything. Okay, 4.3, 3.5. Right, so these are the two levels that I was checking out. I expect the price to consolidate between these two levels, right? But if you look at this particular red candlestick here, the price formed an MSP, which is a market structure break, and that is basically when price forms a higher high, because that is a break in the market structure, right? So this is, if you normally look at it, is a bullish sign, right? Because in an uptrend, price usually forms higher highs and higher lows. But what's happened here is that the price formed a higher high, and it also invalidated the demand zone formed in between these higher highs, right? So this creates what is known as a breaker. Now this is a bearish breaker on the daily time frame, and what I'm expecting is there, as you can see here, there is quite a bit of consolidation that took place here in between this level here. So this is where I'm expecting KNC to consolidate and then move up into this breaker. And that's where I'm going to be shorting KNC down to this level, right? So for this breaker to have a lot of potential to move lower to $3.5, I don't want to see it produce a close, or like I don't want to see price wick down to this level and then make a move higher, in which case the probability of KNC heading down back to this level is reduced, right? So yeah, there is a setup that I can give you guys for this particular coin here, which would be pretty simple. You place a stop loss around here and this down here, which will give you a good 1.88 hour trade, right? So yeah, since the breakdown of this particular candle here, which kind of invalidated this demand zone here, the price has not retested this breaker, right? So I'm gonna just after this recording session, right, I'm just gonna go to my exchange, I'm gonna set the orders here and then forget about it. So yeah, this is KNC. Let's take a look at Steppen or GMT. Right, so yeah, actually GMT, I remember my analysis, GMT looks pretty good, and the reason is it's forming a the lows here are forming higher lows, and the RSI shows that it's forming a lower low, and on top of that the RSI is kind of very close to retesting this oversold level here at 40, right? And as you can see here, retest of these levels often led to moves, up moves, right? This is the only thing that I'm looking at. And also if you look at the upper the highs here, it formed a higher high over here, and the RSI here formed a lower low, which was a bearish divergence, right, which led to the breakdown of this uptrend that we saw here. And so far this divergence here has completely played out right now, so I'm not going to be considering this divergence. I'm only going to be considering the one that we're seeing right now. So GMT is looking pretty good, right? So let me just move on to a lower time frame, right? Actually this resistance level was drawn on a 4-hour time frame. There was quite a bit of sell-off that took place after moving above this resistance level here at $3.4. So I want to see price produce like a decisive close above this and then consolidate above this level before it actually makes a move higher, right? That's what I'm expecting from GMT. So this divergence that I see here also kind of adds to my current thesis on why I'm bullish on GMT, you guys. So yeah, that's my take on GMT. I'm expecting the price to move higher to probably $3.75, and I think it could happen in the next 2 days. I'm hoping it happens by Wednesday, right? Because as I mentioned, if you haven't watched the Bitcoin video, please go watch it. In that I explain why I'm going to close all my positions on Wednesday, and that's mainly because of FOMC, right? So yeah, GMT, you're looking at a 10% upswing over the next 2 or 3 days. Hopefully it happens over the end of this week, right? Let's take a look at the next coin, which is MATIC. Okay, I have an interesting thesis here on MATIC. Let me just go on higher time frame, turn on the RSI, reset the settings, turn off this shit. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at MATIC, right? Price moved below the oversold zone here on somewhere on 19 July. Something similar happened here on 16 Jan. Something similar is happening right now. And so let's just consider this. This was before border. So every time price dipped or retested the oversold level here, you can see what happened to the price. Right? Price saw a massive uptrend. Same thing here. Price dipped into the oversold territory. It rallied 56, 59, 60%. Here it rallied 191%, right? And if you just want to look at this particular thing, it rallied 83%. Right, and now that MATIC has come down to this level here again, I'm expecting the price to move higher again. Right, the first level of resistance would be the daily supply zone here, which extends from 1.23 to 1.29, or roughly 1.30 is we're expecting the price to kind of face its first resistance, right? And mainly also because the price, as you can see here, the price was 1.30 was a really good support until it actually broke down here on 26th April. And just to sum it up, right? Look at this particular confluence, right? Something like this plays out perfectly as I'm expecting it. So what you can expect from MATIC is a quick 20% upswing if you're lucky, and a 15-14% upswing if you're being conservative, right? Yeah, that is pretty much it for MATIC and this whole video, right? If you enjoyed this video, which was supposed to go out in the weekends, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any doubts, just text me on Twitter. Do not DM me. Just at me on Twitter, or just comment on one of my posts, and I'll get back to you quickly than if you DM me, right? I rarely check my Twitter DMs. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Have a great rest of the week. Peace.